Welcome to Wine Nothings, Week 5, with me, Snug. Today's theme is a labor of love. Today, we are getting into the most important of all labors, leisure. We have 3 wines to get into this week. But first, from Maryland, a little bit of skin contact. Yeah, right? What do we mean by that? Technically, it only means that the grapes have a little more time on the skins, but we often use it as a shortcut for natural wines whose skins have wild yeasts that give the wine a little bit of a light, refreshing funk. These guys have this beautiful little piquette for us. And we have the appropriate piece of glassware for it, don't we? AKA plastic cup. I shall sit in these ancient cooling waters and appreciate my wine. It smells light. Maybe a little touch of that kind of fresh rosé strawberry. It's not really super funky. Little bit more of that on the palate, but that's just that is a beautiful down the hatch little rosé spritzer. 6% alcohol. Drink this all day in a fine natural spring such as this, right? Leisure. Yeah, that noblest of labors that is so difficult to achieve in this world where we have conspired to figure out everything except how to live, right? Old John Paul said that. The barest little hint of earthy funk in there. Really, that's just an adult soda, as Bill would like to say. Really, it's a little bit dry. It's got great bubbles. It tastes fresh. My word, don't you want to sit out here all day and drink this? I fully intend to once the camera's off. Look at my hat. You know I'm ready for that. Next. What's the deal with this bottle? It's got a dog on the label. For some people, that means they'll never touch it in their lives. That's absolute maniac behavior, isn't it? Right? Leisure wines ought to be simple and straightforward. Either because we're sitting out here too busy admiring the astonishing beauty of our natural surroundings to focus on complex, ridiculous, old dusty wines, or another great use is when you have foods that are super intense and super busy, or just super, intricate and complex in their own right. If you got the most beautiful piece of lamb and a sauce you have labored over for hours, that too a labor of love, you should pick a simpler wine that takes a back seat. Let that number 1 wine shine. We got our Michael Jordan book with us. Michael Jordan needs a Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan definitely needs a Steve Kerr. Michael Jordan needs low-key, hard-working teammates who he trusts and who trust him, right? You can't have 2 Michael Jordans. They will explode, right? Food and wine sometimes need that low-key, high-key partnership. A beautiful, rich little Pinot Gris like that. Good one to have in your back pocket, but also a good one for sitting in such ancient, stately surroundings such as I find myself in now, with my hat of leisure. My hat of most serious high leisure. Oh, yeah. Fairly full-bodied, fresh, bright, not a lot of real vicious acidity, just enough to keep things lively. I'm smelling flowers, but I suspect it might be the ones I'm sitting beside. But a little bit of maybe stone fruit in there. Beautiful, straightforward, honest, no bullshit Pinot Gris. Yeah, we love that. Genuinely though, Santa Margarita Pinot Grigio surely is the enemy wine of us all. It was $30 in the grocery store last time I seen it, right? $30 for the most expensive $8 gas station bottle of Pinot Grigio I ever seen in my life. We want simple, rich, beautiful Pinot Gris. And the thing we love most about Pinot Gris is how much it wants popcorn. How much I want popcorn all the time, right? I don't know. We may be too isolated from civilization to find any popcorn, but maybe you can sort this out. Text in. Let us know where to get popcorn. Our final wine for you today. Du Paradou. It's Grenache from the south of France, parts south of Burgundy, aka the Rhone Valley, and those south of Bordeaux, much of the Pays d'Oc, were cut off from selling their wine in Paris by some very savvy but cutthroat merchants back in the day who used Burgundy and Bordeaux kind of not just as ways of getting their own wines upriver to market, but also they would block everyone else from doing the same, right? So everyone further south just had to drink their own wine, couldn't sell it in the big fancy markets back in the day. So you look at the wines in the south of France, beautiful Mediterranean climate, a little hotter in a lot of spaces, but like, my God, why do we not have any time of day for them? And we got all day for Burgundy and for Bordeaux. Partly it's because they make great wine, and partly it's because they got sharp elbows. Kind of similar between, Roanoke and all the rest of the regions north and south, right? Giant city from Charlotte to Atlanta, giant city from like Hampton Roads to Richmond to DC, all the way up to New York, right? Roanoke just sits in between them. That's why I got love for all of these little country wines from the south of France, right? They are kin by different names. This beautiful little Grenache already has the perfect, I am sitting in my resplendent, ancient Roman bath, earthy red nose with bright, gorgeous fruits. Gobs of like just fresh, ripe red fruit in there. But yeah, that little bit of earthiness, right? Big, fresh strawberries and cherries, but that nice little almost like rocks in the sun smell. Yeah. Absolutely bright, fresh. This ain't one to sit in the cellar 1,000 years. This one is put it in the fridge 20 minutes and take it outside. It's almost, it's 94 today? Red wine drinks beautifully in my stately, magnificent, rock-surrounded ancient spring up in the Appalachian Mountains. Ridiculous. But because we are hard-working in our labors of love, I got a bonus wine for you. But it is a wine. It's not a wine. It's not a wine at all. We got, out of Charlottesville, Waterbird Spirits make cocktails to go in cans, right? I am obviously a waterbird at home in the water, right? I got my adult sippy cup. Mine's from Brewmate. Yours might be from Corksicle or from Yeti. If you are a dog and or cat owner, or the parent of a young child, or in my case, all three, you already know why it's so important to have an adult sippy cup, don't you? It's not just about leisure. It's about safety first, and or making sure that nobody puts Cheerios in your drink when you're not looking. You know it's the cat who does that. Yeah, we know it's the cat who does it. Vodka, watermelon, and basil. These are flavors that come through. Watermelon, super soft. Touch of basil maybe gives it that slight edge of aromatics. It's not a whole lot of basil. If I had been on my game, I'd have picked some fresh basil to decorate this with. Maybe even a squeeze of extra lemon, but I like my cocktails sharp. A little bit of vodka actually makes it drink dry. You know, I wanted to be a real grumpy old grandpa about this in my stately old millennial age, but man, I'm not going to talk that much shit about all the cocktails in cans. It's a great idea. Take them hiking. You're not bringing your mixing glass, your mixing pints, your Boston shaker. You bringing that camping? Nah. Not bad. All this isn't to say it's important, especially if you are a person who loves big, fancy, beautiful wines of complexity and high dollars. Yeah, you should. These are great things. You should also never forget that second gear, that first gear. These are the gears that get you where you're going all the time, right? We need to be able to downshift into something easy, something straightforward, something that complements our natural surroundings as they change and as they intensify and or simplify, right? We are mixed assemblages. We are vast and contain multitudes, right? We know that having wines for every occasion makes you a well-rounded and interesting person. Not a sellout, not a hater. My goodness, it's Labor Day weekend. Get you something simple. Have a relax. We'll be back in the game with something serious and scary next week. Scary. Oh, it'll be scary. You know, we'll catch you next time, but holler at Bills. We got plenty of weird random boozes and cans, right? Sparkling rosés, cans of wine, cans of cocktails. Go nuts, right? But never lose that ability to keep it simple. Have a great time. Cheers. Have a fucking good Labor Day weekend, eh?